Hello everyone and now welcome to a game between TGW and KraV. This game taking place here on Shattered Exile. We have, KraV spawning as the purple undead player on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, on the bottom left hand side, we have TGW spawning as the red night elf. Greet my grandma, it's her 68th birthday. Well, hello grandma, I hope you are doing well. Let's go ahead and break things down in this 1v1 matchup. But yeah, best wishes for your birthday. Have a great day and may you celebrate many more. Coming back around, we're going to take a look at TGW opening things up as the red night elf player. Opening up, there is that altar of elders, there's that moonwell, ancient of war off to the north. Nothing too surprising here. KraV, on the other hand, may try and build some different styles as well. Greetings people, hello YouTube, happy birthday. Yeah, Sir Bunyip. Trying to get all serious and like get into the flow of things, but well, yeah, realized perhaps that stomach bug took a little bit more out of me than I originally anticipated or realized. All right, let's go ahead and break things down. Still some more Death Knight opening up with some ghouls. I was gonna say KraV has been known to really open up with some non-standard strategies, and actually seeing KraV play a little bit more of a standard game is a bit of a surprise. All right, coming April, not longer, don't be too serious. All right, coming back down to the south here. All right, focus on the game, Crota. Focus on the game. Ancient of War, gonna go ahead and clear out this 4-3-2 creep camp. It should be pretty easy. Meanwhile, down to the south, one Acolyte already doing a bit of scouting, trying to figure out what is happening all across the map as the Death Knight needs to make its way back out here. It is gonna be a Warden as the hero of choice coming in from TGW. Not the standard hero of choice normally, but very good at picking off early ghouls. Now, this strategy might have been because normally KraV does not go for a Death Knight early on, and having an early Shadow Strike against some of those units could perhaps have caused a lot of those ghouls to falter and fall during the early portion of the game. Is this a new map? It is a new map, as we're looking at Wisps now just trying to hide themselves while building Shadow Strike. Now coming down, there is a Shadow Strike coming down onto that Death Knight now chasing after here a little bit more, and you can see a little bit of that tormenting damage on that Death Knight here. Skeletal minions looking to get cleared up. There's a bit of denial there as we see a second Shadow Strike going down again. Death Knight going to be taking some damage over time. Meanwhile, archers are trying to retreat back. That is a lot of mana onto the Death Knight, but the Death Knight has no real way of healing itself right now, and especially without Unholy Aura, its natural regeneration does need a little bit of a boost. Coming back around, a third Shadow Strike coming in. That is a very heavy investment in Shadow Strike indeed, and puts pressure on the Death Knight to try and find a way to stay alive. Very important that Death Knight continually stay on Blight now for a little bit of that regeneration. Perhaps may try to pick up a Ritual Dagger or some other item. Meanwhile, we're looking at TGW retreating all the way back here. Tech to tier 2 has already begun, and well, we are looking at only one Ancient of War with a second Ancient of War in the center portion of the map to absorb a little bit of damage as they clear out this Goblin Merchant shop. All right, however, Undead must have heard something in the woods, trying to make its way back over here. Here comes a large swarm of units. KraV has been known to go wide with the undead early on. There's the ghouls, there's the skeletal minions, as the archers perhaps going to try and pelt down some of that damage. Ancient of War going to easily be taken down there. There's a detonation across multiple skeletal minions, though, as the Death Knight now continues to fight here. All right, there's some more detonations, more ghouls, as we see a quick Shadow Strike onto a low hit point ghoul. Death Knight may try and keep that one ghoul alive, already down to 230 hit points again after another death. Well, thank you for the cheer. Every cheer does definitely help, as the Warden absorbing a bit of damage as well. Coming back down to the south here, thanks for the kind words, as the Ancient of War joining in on the battle. The Warden could have a little bit of a bad day trying to break free, try to get in some damage. Archer to try and take down one of those ghouls, able to take it down, but now has no mana for Blink, as additional damage now making its raining down onto that low hit point ghoul. Retreating back, Warden does have a decent amount of Moonwell's juice to try and drink from, and with so much Moonwell juice, may be able to fight back another day. Skeletal minions trying to take down this Hunter's Hall here. One ghoul going to be forced to get a Death Coil there. The Warden still doesn't have that much mana right behind. Perhaps could try and drink a little bit more Moonwell juice again, as we're looking at a Goblin Shredder joining in on the battle. That Goblin Shredder represents a large amount of damage, and now KraV's army is looking, well, rather worse for wear, as we're looking at the Hunter's Hall down to 380 hit points. Is it going to end up falling? That is the question, but at what cost? As so many additional units are falling down as well. Warden still low on mana. Wisp coming back over to try and finish and get in some additional repairs as well, as we're looking at that ghoul down to 107 hit points. Warden just needs a little bit more mana and a little bit of range. Is going to be able to do exactly that. Wisp now trying to get into harm's way and then try to do a little bit of that block once more. And will it be able to do that? I believe so. No, not able to do so. One ghoul purposely getting in the way, preventing the death of that, well, lower hit point ghoul. Great battle going back and forth. I'm still coming around. Not quite sure why it says I have no viewers, even though obviously the chat is with me. Skeletal Minion's going to end up, well, play a game of Whack-A-Wisp inside this entangled gold mine, as the Goblin Shredder now, well, apparently not caring about that last Skeletal Warrior. Ancient of War gonna finish the job it started not too long ago. Meanwhile, the Warden hanging out on the other side of the map, nearly level 3. Item drop, what is it? It is gonna be a Wand of Illusion. Warden will get to level 3, does have Shadow Strike, should be able to get to level 2 Shadow Strike here in just a moment. And now, perhaps using that Shadow Strike ability, be able to take down a couple of low hit point acolytes. All right, trying to make its way back in there, unable to do exactly that. You can see that the Warden is, well, shadow melting right in that position. He wants to blink into position, going after one of those acolytes already. One acolyte will get taken down. Now, additional acolytes will need to be trained up, and there is no mining happening at all. The Warden, however, shadow melting only works at night, and time cycle is going to be coming to an end, as the Warden was going to be forced to use a Staff of Teleportation to head back out. Staff of Teleportation already underway. Meanwhile, the Panda is clearing out the middle portion of the map, as he is already at level 2, opting to go for Drunken Haze to mitigate some of that damage over time. Lightning Shield across multiple archers, but good split by TGW. Coming back down to the south here, Warden has been healed back up. Lich and Death Knight now working together. Lich is going to get a gift of 2 Claws of Attack plus 5, and eventually add in an Orb of Corruption there, making that Lich's auto attack damage that much more scary. Quick Death Coil Frost Nova under the Warden. Warden already at half life and dropping very quickly. Where is it planning on going? There's the Blink trying to break free. Not quite sure why it took so long. The Warden taking some unnecessary damage for no real benefit or payoff, as a Ring of Protection plus 3 going to be picked up by that Brewmaster. 7 armor on the units there. There's a Drunken Haze. There's a Breath of Fire across multiple units, but the low hit point Ghoul did not get any of it, as the Ghoul was going to be able to retreat back once more. Warden coming back down to the south here, perhaps going to try and heal up once again. We are looking at dual Ancient of Lores. We are also getting Nature's Blessing for a bit of better armor on all of these Ancients as well. And from there, we'll see what transpires. All right, interesting game so far. Warden sitting at level 3, Panda sitting at level 2, going up against KraV's level 3 Death Knight and level 1 Lich. Lich does have some big auto attack trying to hit, and is going to be able to deal enough damage. We can see a little bit of damage being absorbed back across there, perhaps trying to finish off an Archer. Archer gets denied there, as the Lich is, well, random number generation, just needed perhaps 1 or 2 more points of damage. All right, big damage right there. Death Coil Frost Nova, but the Death Coil actually hits the Panda instead of hitting the Warden, as the Druid of the Claw comes out to give a necessary or well-timed rejuvenation on that Warden. All of the Moonwells are pretty much empty at this point in stage in the game, And what is KraV's follow-up strategy going to be? We are looking at only a crypt, a slaughterhouse here. Not that much production behind KraV there, and KraV's army just looks rather small so far. There are crypt fiends, still no orb of corruption there, and there is the backpack upgrade, so an orb of corruption could be delivered. All right, Archer going to end up getting taken down pretty easily there. Death Knight now trying to create a little bit of distance, absorbing far too much damage, down to 198 or 98 hit points. Quickly needs to try and retreat back there, as we are looking at a low hit point Archer being able to, well, survive and dodge a bit of damage. Back at the base of KraV, he needs to heal up, perhaps pick up another Scroll of Town Portal. A lot of pressure is being placed by that Warden, forcing that Death Knight to use Scrolls of Town Portal and constantly play with relatively low hit points, with no easy way to keep hit points or health on that Death Knight. The Death Knight, being the one major glues or the leader of the undead army, is forced to retreat back, as we're now looking at dual potions of health, a potion of greater healing on that Death Knight, just so that he can stick around in these fights a little while longer. Meanwhile, we're looking at the Warden sitting at level 3 and the Panda now sitting at level 3 with level 2 Breath of Fire and level 1 Drunken Haze. Well, thank you for also watching in the future. Potion of Greater Mana being left behind or picked up by that Brewmaster. Breath of Fire, Drunken Haze could easily start blowing over many of those early ghouls and maybe even some of those Crypt Fiends as well, as both sides off to the races with their heroes, trying to level up as quickly as possible and perhaps get into that very powerful level 5. Dark Ranger is the third and final hero for the undead, and well-timed silences shuts down Shadow Strike and also Breaths of Fire, and that 8-second difference, or that minor difference, may be all that you need to really come out ahead in that battle. Warden wanting to make sure that there is no expansion off to the north. Death Knight now clearing this greater Void Walker creep camp in the center portion of the map, alongside the Revenant of the Seas. Not very familiar with many of these creeps, to be honest. Greater Voidwalker dealing some piercing damage here. Scourge Bone Chimes going to be helpful for the Death Knight to regenerate a little bit of hit points, and also for those ghouls in that front line, and perhaps an Abomination or two once it joins out in the battlefield. Off to the top left, level 3 Panda going to perhaps go after the Icy Revenant as well. Here we are. Here's an engagement. This is a red creep camp. Should be able to get taken down pretty quickly. Panda taking quite a bit of damage. Has to be careful. Needs to get another Druid of the Claw rejuvenation, as we're now looking at the Icy Revenant, himself being able to regenerate quite a bit of hit points with his own Vampiric Aura. Cloak of Flames now being dropped there. Meanwhile, the Warden causing problems as acolytes are hiding out in the Goblin Zeppelin to make sure that they don't get taken out. There's a potion of lesser invulnerability there, but mining has come to a halt momentarily, as the Brewmaster now also fighting alongside a Mountain Giant as well. TGW doing a great job making sure that this expansion or this main base gets very minimal mining, and now trying to finish off some more units there. Is it going to perhaps try and get away? There is enough mana to get off another Shadow Strike here in just a moment. There is another Shadow Meld. There's level 4. Should be able to do it here in just a moment, as we should be looking at some more rejuvenations here. Warden now needs to teleport back and does head back home. All right, 3 out of 5 acolytes mining here. Need to try and train up some additional acolytes, but currently low on gold. TGW having KraV pushed into a bit of a corner right now, as full saturation is not even being attempted, sitting at 53/60 with nothing else being trained here. All right, Destroyers ready to go. Bears, Dryads going to go ahead and engage. Mountain Giants in the frontline portion. Death Knight now going to go ahead and try and charge on in. There's a big, Frost Nova slowing things down, but there's a big Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, Devour Magic to try and finish things off here. A bunch of low hit point ghouls as well, as they need to back away. They do not want to feed experience to the Night Elf, as the level 5 Warden or level 5 Panda could definitely spell some major problems. There goes another Breath of Fire across multiple units there. That cone effect perhaps not getting loaded properly. I need to remember to properly open up WarCraft 3. not just double-click the replay, as the Druid of the Claw now tries to retreat back. All right, Blink on that Warden to try and save it from danger. Meanwhile, the Panda continuing to lead the charge here. Staff of Preservation saves a Druid of the Claw. More Breath of Fire coming across multiple units, as an Abomination does need a Death Coil to try and stay alive, but damage is already racking up rather high. Panda still in that frontline spot. Panda needs a couple more seconds, could try to get off another Breath of Fire, and there it goes. There's another Breath of Fire, a little bit of damage over time as the units are still retreating back as well. All right, Abomination gets another Death Coil, but the Death Knight finally low on mana. Slow poison, well, slowly poisoning to death this Abomination as the Undead finally gets taken down. Panda still trying to chase after all those units, but unable to keep up that distance. Meanwhile, the Warden is the one with the Boots of Speed, able to move around the map relatively quickly. All right, Archers getting sacrificed and denied now, as we should be looking at perhaps some more rejuvenation across multiple low hit point Druids of the Claw. The problem right now is that the Disease Cloud does greatly affect the hit points of these Druids of the Claw, as you can see that they are slowly going down even at nightfall. This is with 200% hit point regeneration at night. So the damage over time does slowly tick away, and I believe KraV understands that, purposely attacking with an Abomination and then allowing themselves both a little bit of rest, knowing that, well, these units have still taken quite a bit of damage from that Disease Cloud over time. Taking a look there, the Mountain Giants still dropping in hit points slowly but surely. It seems like, what, 2 to 4 hit points a second. I actually think it's 4 hit points a second, 2 every half second. So that does add up very fast. All right, Mountain Giants trying to position here. Meanwhile, we are still having KraV push across the map here. Taking down these Moonwells would be a great indication, as we're looking at an Abomination perhaps trying to dive on into the Night Elf army. The Dryads perhaps the main primary intended victims of KraV's Abomination there, but that Abomination doesn't look like it will be able to stay alive for very long. Meanwhile, the Brewmaster quickly get into a bit of trouble. It gets teleported out. Brewmaster down to down to 415 hit points, nearly at level 5 though, and that level 3 Breath of Fire could cause some major problems across multiple Crypt Fiends. A second Abomination now being added into the fight here. Death Knight now trying to push on in, and here we go. Death Knight, Death Knight taking and absorbing that Shadow Strike there. Death Coil continuing to try to heal, and we are looking at a little bit, no real Abomination, no Disease Cloud across all of the other Night Elf units, which is a bit of a surprise. KraV really needs to try to apply that Disease Cloud onto those Dryads primarily, since they are relatively low on hit points. All right, we are looking at a Burrowed Crypt Fiend there. More damage, trailing, blinking, trying to keep up with all of those targets as the units now look to retreat back. All right. Do we see what is going on here? Perhaps trying to buy Dust of Appearance. Where is the Warden going? Warden gonna buy Dust of Appearance, and now take down this, I believe, this Crypt Fiend that is burrowed somewhere beneath the ground off over here. Is it still here? We'll see. There it is, and it is gonna get taken down. Off on the other side, I do not believe that was the fight that that KraV was looking for. He needed to apply that damage over time, not only to the heroes and Mountain Giants, but the lower hit point Dryads to really have a big effect there. Is it just 2 hit points per second? It seems lower. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep. Okay. Coming back through, Warden now making their way back, or it seems faster, yeah. Anyways, coming back around, you can see Mountain Giants have taken quite a bit of damage overall just from that Disease Cloud. It lasts seemingly forever, and it used to be 1 hit point per second, now it's 2. Yeah, that additional damage over time just makes and causes so many problems, where the undead is dealing damage across all of your units and you may not even realize it. Coming back around, level 4, level 3, going up against a level 4 and nearly level 5 Panda. All of the creeps on the map have been cleared up, save for well, is this the last green creep camp available there? That's the last one that I see. Rogue Wizard will end up getting taken down, giving Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3 and additional health and damage for that Death Knight. No signs of expansions as of yet. There are plenty of gold mines to be had here on the map, and the main gold mines only have about 3 minutes and 2 minutes of mining left. What is the final play going to be from both of these players? KraV does have the benefit of unsummoning buildings if he wants, or are they going to try to push into a longer game by setting up an expansion? Meat Wagons joining in on the battle. That is going to be an important addition as the Night Elf Dryads will finally start suffering some siege damage on their unarmored armor types, and also get stuck in that disease cloud, which causes that damage over time that I've been perhaps mentioning a bit too much of. Coming back through, Warden does have an Orb of Venom, wanting to get some damage over time as well. Panda picking up a Scroll of Healing, and also still holding on to that Dust of Appearance. Plenty of mana straight out of the gate, 445. Meanwhile, the Warden only sitting at 330. Gonna, well, keep everyone honest here by trying to see if any player has an expansion as of yet. Obsidian statues perhaps should also be repaired as well. This obsidian statue down to 179 hit points. Where's the Death Knight? Death Knight with Unholy Aura could at least get some regeneration going on that obsidian statue, with that Unholy Aura opting to, well, heal up mechanical units as in addition to all of these, I guess, technically living units? Or, well, actual units. Alright, I guess a little bit of respite in the action here. One final Abomination going to be joining in on the fight. Really, KraV should have this Death Knight over here to try and at least get a little bit more mana. Both the Obsidian statues are starting to top out, and we're going to finally start to move out across the map here. Quick Dust of Appearance, making sure that there are no units nearby. There's that Obsidian statue regenerating a little bit of hit points over time. We'll see if that comes back to haunt. Meanwhile, Death Knight currently not maxed out on mana, as the two Obsidian statues are. This does come as a surprise, and now we're looking at Ancients of War being placed down by TGW to perhaps act as some sort of additional base defense. Tree of Eternity now making its way across here. It's going to try to set up an expansion or move its main base once more. All right, Undead also going to be setting up an expansion as well, as both sides are in a little bit of a standoff situation, wanting to defend their expansion while putting pressure on their opponents. All right. Ancient Protector, a little bit better armor. Warden gonna perhaps dive on in. No, quickly sees with that further Ultra Vision, knowing that the Undead army is just off to the north. Wisp off to the north here could try to set up a bit of a ninja expansion under his opponent's nose, as the Tree of Eternity is currently spotted and could get blown out of the sky by that Panda. And if you ever wondered if the Goblin Zeppelin does provide a bit of experience, yes it does, as shown right there. We are looking at 78 supply over 80 compared to 66 over 70. Army size of TGW, a little bit smaller than KraV's, as the Acolytes need to transition over. This Haunted Goldmine nearly ready for operation. Level 4, Level 3, Level 3 going up against Level 4, Level 5. That additional Breath of Fire damage from the Brewmaster may be just enough to tip things over the edge, especially with Ghouls still in that frontline position. There's a taunt right there. Little bit of damage going back and forth. Ancient Protector, and here we go. And Meat Wagons in the backside here. Obsidian Statue already regenerated up to 300 hit points, getting back stronger as a big Drunken Haze Breath of Fire across multiple units. Ghouls could get taken down. If the Warden gets up to level 5, that will be a very big advantage indeed, as the Panda is currently silent, unable to launch any more Breaths of Fire. You can see that the Dryads are now trying to retreat in the back here. That disease cloud spreading all across the back, causing so many problems, as Now KraV really starting to push on in once more. Crypt continuing to push in damage. The front line starting to suffer quite a bit of damage, as well as the Death Knight needs to heal the Abomination on the other side of this front line here. More damage still adding on through. Staff of Preservation for the save. Goblin Shredder trying to join in on the battle, as Dryads and so many units are just suffering damage here. 63 compared to 66, as the units are retreating back, even though the supply count is relatively similar. Remember, a couple of units were teleported back because they were low on hit points. Meat Wagon's going to be joining in here, trying to finish off some of these buildings, as the Ancient of War now trying to join in on the battle as well. All right, Obsidian Statues low on hit points, but they are going to be slowly healed up by that Death Knight, as we mentioned, or as I mentioned earlier, as the Meat Wagon's now finishing off this Ancient of War and perhaps going to put pressure on TGW. No, going to go ahead and try and put in pressure on the main fight here. Dryad suffering damage. There's a big silence across the middle portion. Death Knight now being forced to retreat back. Warden could try to get in a little bit more damage. Orb of Venom causing some damage over time, as we see a quick reveal to try and finish off a Burrow of Gripping. The Burrow of Gripping finally gets taken down. Meanwhile, Deathclaw trying to save up some of these Abominations. So much damage across so many units, as they're still trying to retreat back. All right, everyone is hanging on by a thread here. There goes one Mountain Giant, and now the Tree of Eternity is ripe for the picking, completely exposed with no natural defense. Dryad's now going to come back around from the far side here. We're looking at repairs on the Tree of Eternity. Scroll of Town Portal trying to come inbound, trying to repair, and no, Staff of Teleportation. Warden comes across here, gets in some damage, but the Tree of Eternity does get taken down still. Warden trying to finish things off here. If the Warden can finish off the Death Knight, perhaps he can try and make a bit of a play once again, as the Death Knight does get taken down, giving level 5 to the Warden. Level 5 Warden trying to clean up the remainder of the heroes and win the fight out here on the battlefield instead of the economic fight, as the Meat Wagons are all just trying to spread that disease cloud across multiple units. All right, Panda sitting at still 5 here. Is the Warden going to be able to finish off any additional units, as the Meat Wagons are starting to fall relatively easily? The Warden does have Boots of Speed, able to keep track of that Lich pretty quickly. That Lich with plus 27 damage, but still getting taken down as well. Warden nearly level 6, as the Lich falls at level 4. Dark Ranger is still alive, as unit after unit is slowly getting taken down. Staff of Preservation for the save, but there is still no additional mining to be had. Panda going to try and catch up to that last Crypt Fiend there. There it goes. It gets taken down, as the Warden finishing off some additional Crypt Fiends. Is there a Dust of Appearance? No, there is not. And that might be a problem. A bit of reveal is all that is needed, as a new Tree of Life now being placed down. Coming back down to this, off to the other side here. 40 supply army compared to 35. Dark Ranger is still in play. Lich got resurrected, and the Death Knight now getting resurrected back at that Altar of Darkness. The problem for KraV now is that both heroes are so close to level 6. Any initial tipping could cause problem. There's Dust of Appearance right there, and the Brewmaster gonna wait and get to level 6 with the help of a gifted Crypt Fiend. And with that gifted, with that level 6, Earth, Storm, and Fire may be enough to push things over the edge. KraV quickly realizing the writing on the wall, gonna try and, well, perhaps start unsummoning on this Haunted Goldmine. There you are, unsummoning on that Haunted Goldmine, and now trying to escape away with that Acolyte here. The Warden wants to get up to level 6 as well and bring in the Avatar of Vengeance, now about 119 experience shy. All right, Brewmaster going to be coming to the fight here, but these Mountain Giants don't have that many hit points, and the army is rather large. This is an overstep. There's a big breath of fire there, taking down one of the Obsidian Statues. Earth, Storm, and Fire now coming back across multiple units. No Staff of Preservation available, as the Earth, Storm, and Fire is now out of the is in play, and there are no items available here at all. All right, Mountain Giant looking to try and fight a little bit more. Is it going to get taken down? The Warden is right here trying to finish off more units. There's one Staff of Preservation. There goes a Crypt Fiend, as the Warden wants to get up to level 6, but is just a little bit shy still. All right, where's that Warden going? Warden is hiding down to the south. We're looking at Earth, Storm, and Fire continuing the fight here, but it looks as though Earth could be in a little bit of trouble. Fire going to end up getting taken down, as the Death Knight sitting at level 5. We can see Storm nearby could try and break a little bit of damage. Can he finish off the Obsidian Statue? Yes, he does. His damage is magic, or is piercing damage, and able to finish off that heavy armored unit, no longer having that very, very important obsidian statue to replace the hit points and the mana. A new expansion or a new gold mine trying to be established off to the north. Same thing for the south. And by TGW, Warden needs to get in a little bit of heals. There is one Druid of the Claw and a whole bunch of low hit point units, as that Druid of the Claw is just going to try to give rejuvenations by drinking as much mana as possible. Ancients of Lore now on the move out once again. We can see 3 undead heroes, an abomination, and also a destroyer trying to take down this haunted gold or this entangled gold mine before it is up and operational. Meanwhile, the tree of life, now uprooted, is going to have a very bad day. It needed to keep that fortified armor to reduce the damage, not only from the heroes, but to not take bonus damage from the destroyer. That a sudden uproot and then reroot actually removed a decent amount of hit points from that tree of life, as we now look at the Death Knight going straight after, or the Warden going straight after that Death Knight. Death Knight now in a little bit of trouble. Warden still wandering around here. Panda now trying to back away. Warden could try to come back over, blink, get a death strike onto that unit there. There's a Drunken Haze. Are we going to see a death strike? Yes, we are, and the Death Knight going to end up getting taken down. Level 6 now on the Warden. Warden gets stabbed to preservation for the save, as the Panda now backs away again. Death Knight has fallen. Warden needs to get healed back up, but now has Avatar of Vengeance. The downside and the problem of that, though, is that there aren't very many corpses out available on the map. Ancient of Lores trying to join in on the battle. Lich and, well, the Destroyer looks like it's going to be able to finish off one Ancient of Lore, if not the other. No, does not want to stick around for that. All right, Warden sitting at level 6 has an Avatar of Vengeance, but there's not very many corpses on the map. Druid of the Claw needs to regenerate some mana and then try and heal up all of those Dryads before they can join out on the battle. Death Knight not getting... Death Knight not getting resurrected at all. Destroyer trying to retreat back, as the Warden is now looking to get some additional targets here. Warden is currently silenced, but still deals quite a bit of damage per auto attack. As you can see, that poison damage over time adding quite a bit here. All right, Lich continuing to fight here, and now in comes the Avatar of Vengeance. Is there a graveyard? Yes, there is a graveyard inside this space, which means that the Avatar of Vengeance has plenty of corpses to use. Is he going to try and do exactly that? Death Knight now back out here onto the battlefield, but it's quickly surrounded into an uncomfortable scenario, and that's going to end up getting taken down. No Staff of Preservation for that there. Breath of Fire across multiple units. Panda is in a bit of trouble, down to 147 hit points. Death Knight, Staff of Preservation, could try and go for a little bit of exchange here, as the Panda now turns back around. Could have perhaps gotten a Drunken Haze Breath of Fire on that Death Knight before getting stabbed of preservation back home. Druid of the Claw working overtime as the main healer back at home. Panda gonna get another rejuvenation as well. And this one, Druid of the Claw, the glue that is holding the Night Elf army together. All right, Warden getting in a little bit more mana as well. Druid of the Claw perhaps gonna perhaps stay back here, act as a bit of healing once more, and the units are gonna once more break out again. TGW currently mining gold, but not at full saturation. Meanwhile, KraV is mining from this northern base with 5 acolytes at full saturation as well. Yeah, the Avatar of Vengeance. TGW had the right idea. He wanted to get to this graveyard and start turning them into spirits of vengeance and have the battle go his way. However, the Death Knight getting resurrected was a bit of a miscalculation by TGW there, not realizing that KraV had the ability. Once more, Panda now going to try and engage here, perhaps take down all of these acolytes here. That was a big breath of fire, and then, well, it wasn't the ultimate ability that was the final nail in the coffin, but a level 3 breath of fire causing problems. Now Earth, Storm, and Fire available across multiple units, continuing to deal damage here. Warden going to come back around, try to finish off more units. There goes Storm. Storm quickly going to get taken down. Earth, however, is the primary target that you need to try and take down, as the Dark Ranger tries to escape away, gets taken down by a Shadow Strike as well. The level 3 basic abilities causing so many problems for the Night Elf or the Undead army, as a Lich is about to get taken down. Lich down to 200, down to 165. A little bit more damage. Death Knight needs to come across. There's that big Death Coil heal, as we are looking at still more damage raging on through. Obsidian Statue down to 101 hit points, as fire can just stand around and cause a bit of damage before it disappears into nothing. There it goes, and, well, disappears. The hero always the hero normally, or the panda, replaces where Earth was. So that is the reason why fire was left behind, to deal a little bit of damage, while Earth ensures the safety of that primary brewmaster. Back down to the south here, we're looking still. TGW finally mining at full saturation. Multiple level 7 or level 6 heroes going up against multiple level, a level 5 and a level 4. Not having level 3 Frost Nova could be a big deal. Druid of the Claw gets Staff of Preservation saved. Avatar of Vengeance and Spirit of Vengeances could be enough to turn the tide here, as the panda is still trying to fight its way through. The Moonwells are actually rather dry at this stage in the game, so not that big of a home field advantage. The Ancient of Wonders not even really doing that much. Morden down to 200 some odd hit points. Lich trying to finish things off here, unable to do exactly that. Death Knight continuing to put in the pressure. Obsidian Statue joining back here onto the battlefield, but a Breath of Fire blows it over as well. Panda continuing to run back off to the north here. Faster movement speed causing problems, as the panda now attempts to get away. An Abomination could end up getting taken down. No Death Coil for the save, but now there is not much mana left on that Death Knight at all. Units going to be making their ways around here. There is another blink. Death Knight gets a Shadow Strike, and one final tick is going to finish it off, and that is going to be the game. All right, a long, drawn-out battle between TGW and KraV. KraV really unable to get back into the game after all of the harassment from that Warden. But TGW not really finding a way to close out the game, even though he had the higher level heroes. In the end, having dual level 6 heroes, it wasn't the ultimate abilities that needed to get the momentum going, but that Breath of Fire and that Shadow Strike at level 3, taking down the Dark Ranger, blowing over a lot of damage onto those acolytes, forcing an engagement, and that final Breath of Fire taking out the Obsidian Statue. Yeah, the Earthstorm in Fire and also the Avatar of Vengeance did come in strong, and it was able to add to that momentum, but I don't think that was the turning point. Let me know what you guys think about this game in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys check out more of my videos on YouTube.